Well, let me tell you something. I didn't do anything to prepare for the show.
Oh, okay. Unlike most weeks when it's...
No. I mean, I have cards, but some of the pack 4 ones are fake.
Okay, that's good.
You know, I'm an older man and still feel I need to hide my tracks with you. All I care is, I don't want to be blamed. I don't even care if the podcast is good. I don't want to be blamed.
That's good.
I don't want to be blamed.
Okay.
But I did see my friend Larry Berger.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry Berger.
Hi, Larry Berger.
And he went back to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Am I looking bad?
Well.
I mean, no, but I mean beyond the usual.
No, there's nothing on your head.
Okay. Because I have things on my face a lot. As you get older, I don't know if you realize this.
Yeah.
Things form on, it's called Wayne LaPierre disease.
The foamy corners, the skin tags.
Okay, so I have a surprise for you. Now, this might not work well, because nothing I do works well.
Yeah.
But here's the discussion I had with Larry, and I said it's a minute long, and I said, Josh will love that. He said, oh, you mean he'll cut it? No, he likes anything that adds time to the podcast.
You really think? No, last week was our longest ever.
Oh, okay.
And it was totally unjustifiable.
What do you mean? It was all you, what did you do? What did I do?
I sat and listened.
What did I do now, Josh?
Nothing. I
love my non-specific anger.
All of this is 50-50, man. 2 mics, 2 people, 2 faults.
Oh, no. Why can't we both be winners? Why do we have to one of us has to be the loser?
Well, I'm the loser because I have to listen to it.
That's true. But now let me play you this now.
Play it into the mic. Play it into the mic.
Now, you were telling me something about you have to allow enough time to return the rental car. Please explain that to me.
Based on the moving of the rental facility from 5 steps away from the gate where it used to be, I should have been there about 4 hours for a flight today.
But now, if you had this information about that your rental car, when was the last time you rented from that rental car?
Well, on Friday when we got here.
But I mean,
years ago.
Right. He knew because he picked up the car.
No, he flew it. He flew his part.
More convenient than any airport I've ever seen in my life.
So if I was in your similar position, wouldn't you want someone else to know that knowledge?
You would,
yeah.
I would tell everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for playing.
My pleasure.
I'm so flattered.
Well, because he's saying he's a Jew.
He played it way Jewier than I would.
Well, we're both Jew. All 3 of us are Jews. Larry is clearly a Jew, and he's not.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's not putting it on.
Right.
I always put a little mustard on the hot dog, but Larry and I are very similar because he's looking at doesn't know he has OCD. I don't think he does.
Yeah.
But because he's
Poor
always
bastard.
He's always on time.
Yeah. That's not OCD. That's called polite.
I understand that. I agree with that. I agree. I'm not going to argue. I'm not saying my OCD is stylish. Everyone loves it when Andy doesn't show up on time. But he was looking around, looking at his watch, how much time. He said, how far are we from the... he's like me on a trip.
Was he eating with you at the time?
Yeah, at Mel's.
Exactly.
At the scene of the crime.
It's because you won't talk and eat.
No, here's what happened.
Split the difference, Andy. That's what I'm saying.
You have told me often that just reporting things from my normal life is not interesting. I think it is.
I think it's gold.
Okay. So see how much gold this is. Larry was going back to San Francisco today. We saw him and his wife, Alice, at a thing. And he said, I'll call you when I'm in the area. And I texted him. I said, maybe it's getting too late. He was right at and
Right.
So I said, I'll see you in 3 minutes. It's like a miracle. I ran from my house to this place.
Miracle?
No, not a miracle. But it was confusing for Larry.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I didn't know. Oh, now I'm getting in the text. So it's like having lunch with him. It's like having lunch with me.
All right. By the way, you did say the place earlier.
Oh, what, Mel's?
Yeah.
Not this Mel's.
Ah, okay.
Oh my God! Why don't I just put a loaded gun outside my house and say, "Hi, I'm a show business person."
Let's see,
who's insecure.
3 minutes at a moderate pace in any direction from Mel's could be Andy's house.
I agreed to read the script of my DoorDash deliverer. I didn't think it was rude. He goes, would you mind taking a look at this? Who would bring me a script?
Who would? Really?
What would they bring me? Failure?
You were very concerned about your mouth.
Oh, because I have... Okay. I'll tell you what happened with me.
All right. I'd like to know.
This has not been a
How
good...
far back are we going?
Today.
Okay.
It's not been a good day for me brushing my teeth wise, because I normally brush my teeth religiously, dressed like a rabbi. Boom! I'm leaving room for laughs.
Okay.
But today I was running around. I think I was late here again, as always.
Not very. Not very.
Not very. That's the most you can hope from a man like me.
Yes.
Not very. Was not insultingly late, honey.
You were inside the Andy 10.
I'd like to think if I get here at 9:02, 9:03, it's almost like...
Oh, no, that's on time. That's on time.
That's my goal. And I'm telling myself we get together at 7. It doesn't work.
Whatever it takes to trick you.
Doesn't work.
If it can trick you into a 5-minute envelope, that's pretty good.
Did you ever I have done this thing with the clock ahead 15 minutes thing, and I always figure it out.
No, it's never been a problem for me. I can do the math for real.
You mean between you and Allison, you both weren't on time? And
No, when Allison and I started together, she was habitually and
horrendously,
extremely late.
inexcusably.
Her version of I need to be there at 8 in her head meant I need to leave at 8.
That's not bad though for most people like that, like me and her and my wife.
But not everything is a 3-minute run away.
That's true. That's true. And then why did you change?
She changed because I wisely didn't scold her.
Oh my God.
That would have gotten her to dug in. It was just leadership. That's all it was, Andy. It was just pure leadership. It was being a good example.
Well, I can't even it still sounds very manipulative the way you described it. And I feel
it might have been. I think it's good husbanding is what I think. Because some of our biggest fights early on in our relationship were being like really late to things because of her.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like our biggest raging fights happened in those circumstances.
Okay, because you were being tarred with her feather too, right?
Well, they were like important events.
Give me an example. Just give me an example.
Yeah, like 2 of them were wedding related.
Okay, that I know. And I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I have rushed in.
Because when Allison dreads something, she's more late. The fuck down, yes. But she's got over, we've been together for, over 2 decades now.
Well, how does that play out in a big argument with you? I can't even imagine it. Is there yelling?
In those
days there were.
Yeah.
Did she ever say to you, stop yelling at me? Or you don't yell, really?
No.
She yells. I'm a yeller, but I've stopped.
It escalates proportionately.
Yeah. I don't understand why someone hears this, they think I'm upset. That's what happens. Like I go up that high.
Yeah.
And to me, that high is just getting warmed up on the rage scale.
But I think, I imagine when I'm genuinely enraged, I'm probably fairly...
Loud?
I don't know if I'm loud, but I'm big. So I don't like being scary.
Don't menace your wife.
I don't want to be scary to anybody. So I think,
Well, that's the thing.
I've never flown into a
rage.
Rage in my entire relationship with Allison. But we've had, heated
you say
arguments, but no.
No. Yeah.
Like way less than average, I would say. And it's been years, I think, since our last go have a fight and then go pout about it.
I think men are wise to be worried about coming off as menacing.
Yeah.
But not me, though. I've never come off as menacing. And a lot of times with my wife, I won't even defend myself till 6 or 7 kicks in. Those joking about physical fights between you and your wife are always funny. This is from our Stand Up the Musical.
Right.
People love jokes about violence. Boom. Like John Hyatt had a song, Ralph never sent Alice to the moon, but he wanted to.
Right.
You couldn't write that today, those edgy lyrics. Or I think the best scene I've ever seen, which I know it's a hacky thing now, is Buster Keaton both strangling and hugging the woman in that scene. You remember that? He's like, Look, I know 3 scenes from 4 silent movies.
Well,
and I tried this, and you know nothing.
Reenacting a silent movie.
No, it's not
on
a silent.
podcast.
Maybe it was a silent. I don't remember. Why were they so silent? Why didn't they talk up? Maybe they could have talked louder. Good night.
Baha.
How did they know the movies was silent? Did they check? Did they ever turn up?
Did anyone even try to scream?
Or record it?
What?
Are you saying that they didn't have sound before they had pictures? Is that what you're telling me? Pictures preceded sound. Get the lead out, Edison, or whoever. So his spools, that clink, tank, bang,
It was marrying the two. That was the major innovation.
Oh, sound and music?
Yeah.
Right. Or just the sound of music.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen it. I've never seen that movie.
Have you not?
I know. Is that with the Von?
I hate it. I've seen it enough to hate it.
Is it the Von Tropps?
Yes.
And is it Mary Poppins is in there?
No, she's not. Well, Julie
she's
Andrews
in there.
is.
And is it about Nazis? It's about Nazis, and yet I wouldn't like it, though, right? I love Nazi movies.
It would be your only way in.
Is there a scene where they're running from the Nazis or cursing the Nazis?
They're singing.
It's a true story, though, right? The Von Tropps?
Yes. Well, it's a musicalized true story.
And what's the story? I've
never seen it beginning to ending.
Mm-hmm. Who could?
So I'm.
And where's Getting to Know You? Getting to know all of. Is that from that, or is that The King and I?
I think that's The King and I. Yeah. Or it's not. It's not.
Oh,
I think it's not The Sound of Music.
So it's basically the hills. You got your Hills Are Alive.
Hills Are Alive. You got your doe, a deer, a female deer.
Oh, I hate that song.
Okay.
Ray.
You've got So Long, Farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, Goodbye. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Oh, that's a terrible song. No one likes them now, right? I don't want letters about this, Josh. I don't need letters.
That's one of those perennial movies that just always made me watch anything else when I was a kid.
Well, I had a problem with musicals, but I didn't have a problem with some musicals. I loved Camelot, for example. I was crazy about Camelot. My Fair Lady.
Even people who don't like musicals have their few.
Yeah. My Fair Lady.
I have my few. None of mine is not My Fair Lady or Camelot.
Music Man.
Music Man is one of mine.
Yes.
For sure.
That's because he's like he's a fast talker.
Right. And I saw it live as a kid, so that that drew me in more.
With a road company, right? Not some original.
Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, that's so good. He topped me. He literally mentioned the one guy. Oh, he wasn't in the original Music Man. He wasn't in Monty Hall.
Robert Preston was.
Uh-huh.
Robert Preston.
And also Monty Hall told me that he performed in it.
He told you that?
He did. I talked to Monty Hall before he died. when he was in his 90s. I spent a whole night with Monty Hall.
Will you pick the curtain or the story?
I spent the whole night with him, and I wasn't the only one having sex. No, I did a charity event with him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
At Southwestern Law School. I don't tell you these things because it makes it look like I'm bragging in a terrible way.
Yeah.
I played. Yes, I did.
More recounting than bragging, I think.
Yeah, because there's nothing. Well, first of all, I don't like to say charity. I'm giving back, is what I prefer to say.
Yeah.
So then, what else?
For an honorarium.
Hair is in my top.
Hair is a good one.
I love that one.
You love Jesus Christ Superstar. I can't stand it.
Well, I can't argue against anybody who hates it.
No, exactly. That's why we all have our pocket picks.
But I learned about Jesus from it, so that's all I cared about. Well, no, I mean, I really was into it, too. I thought maybe some of the musical numbers were found historically.
Yeah.
Try not to get worried.
Do not.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, you were very mad at me because it was the volume of my singing.
Yes.
It was
yeah, that was horrible.
What was it about, though? What was the topic?
It was like your opening theme music, which just wanted to penetrate through my skull and.
Welcome. Okay, can I do it this way? You can stop it whenever you want.
No, the ship has sailed.
Welcome to the thought. Is it the Thought Spiral?
No, it is not. With your host, Napoleon Bondepick.
Is that the way they write those type of jazzy songs? You just go, okay, I like something like this.
No, that's the annoying exec who comes in to the songwriter's suite.
Yeah. Hey, can you do
and
something?
And then leaves, and they all roll their eyes just as he turns his back, and then they talk major shit about him once he leaves.
Well, this guy, I had a friend who did voiceover stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever the executive would say, can I, make a note? he would pretend he was changing the music, and then he played it back the same way.
Yeah.
And he didn't get caught. But if you do get caught doing that, people don't like it. You know?
No, they don't. No.
They don't like to be pranked. Now, did you send me a lot of letters today? I didn't look at my email.
No.
Oh, so I'm up to date.
Sure. You have not responded to all the ones.
And did you spend time with a listener today like me? I went out of my way because I had a contest. Spend the day with half of Thought Spiral.
Yeah.
And Larry Berger won.
And is Larry Berger a regular listener?
Larry Berger is a regular listener, but he's also an old friend of mine, so I don't think he counts as a friend, as a fan. Yeah. A fan.
Certainly not. If he's if he knows you that long.
I met more people who saw. I mean, it's a groundswell of spiraling going on there.
How was there anyone at the particular show the other night?
Yes, I think there were, but I immediately, I don't know. I'm bad with as soon as someone comes up to me and I get the rush of them either recognizing me or complimenting me, what's the point of remembering it for you?
Right, I understand.
But I did see your wife was at the particular show.
Yes, she was, and she enjoyed it a great deal. And she truly enjoyed the special treatment, the VIP treatment you gave her.
Well. She got a Andy Kindler neck pillow, which everyone gets.
Right, absolutely.
A Dream Water. You ever see that? Dream Water? They give that out sometimes. No. It's like you go to sleep drinking Dream Water. No, it was great to see her and her friend
Sharon.
And also, a friend of mine, I can never pronounce her name, is Naya. She's on MSNBC. Nayara. HAQ is her last name, which I also know how to pronounce. I like to think of myself as an international man.
Yeah.
But I don't think so much.
Well, you got to get a little more fluid with the names.
Well, she went on Bill Maher last Friday.
Right, I saw her, yeah.
Yeah. You did? Oh, you saw her. I haven't seen the show yet, so I plan to see the show. But when I went home, it was the only time I couldn't get Bill Maher on. Friday night. It's the only time that he wasn't on currently. I was like, he's never not on 2, 3, 4, but they completely taken it off. I had to wait 3 hours to record it.
Well, at least you got a story.
Is that a good story for panel?
You got a story out of it, yeah.
Is that a good story for podcast panel?
Yes. But it was a big show. There was a lot of big name talent in that show.
It was what? It seemed like a slam there.
No.
Bob Saget was on the show.
Yes.
And this got a big laugh. So why not do it on the podcast? No, this guy, I love Bob Saget. Have you met him, worked with him, or anything?
I have met him.
Okay.
He wasn't particularly happy to meet me, I don't think, at the time, because it was right after he had left AFV and I had sort of changed everything.
Oh, I forgot he was the host of AFV.
Yeah.
So what does he care once he left?
Well, I kind of mocked him a little, too.
You mean you mocked him on the show?
Yeah. Kind of. Subtly.
And you mocked him through the second host.
Well, I would do things. Well, no, I would actually do the voiceover myself, where I would do it like I did a little segment called Falsetto Animal Theater, where I would do voices like, hey, I'm a dog. Hey, get a look at me. Hey, check out this song. Oh my God.
Hey, so that's what he would do?
That's what he
That
would
was
do
his company.
That's what he would do a lot on AFV, and so it was a subtle jab.
So is this like a Seth Rogen turn the tables? No, because you kept it quiet. I'm the one who drags out my opinions from the past.
But I saw him the other night, in fact, at Judd Apatow's premiere for his Gary Shandling movie. I saw it.
How was that movie?
It was good. It was fun.
I really want to see that movie.
Yeah, it's.
Where was it at the thing?
It was at a club that I think used to be the Palladium on Vine.
Okay.
And it was all it was all done up for the premiere.
See, this is the kind of thing when the people listen to the show, they go, "This is what I want." The hubnubbing, the rubbing elbows with the famous.
Well, I have to admit, I was a +1. It was actually Joel Madison's invitation.
Oh my God, so. That is you've reached the lowest level of show business. Yes. When not only you're a +1. It's for Joel Madison. So see, I'm slamming his level of celebrity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got it.
You got it, right?
It came through. Yeah.
It came through. So
that was fun.
Well, he happens to be. He was on a TV show I did called Raising Dad, and he was extremely funny, but when he was funny to work with. But he starts to go. He he always will kid with you, right? He'll kid with you, and then he'll take things seriously.
Yeah, he's thin-skinned.
Yeah. So,
and that's actually that he and Shanley had a falling out at one point in the movie, which is he appears in the doc.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it? What was it over?
It was over Brad Gray.
Oh, because did Gary not want him to continue to be friends with Brad Gray or something like that?
Yeah.
See how I? Because I guess what would I be? What kind of a grudge would I be harboring?
Yes.
Wow.
But it was good. It was, there's lots of stuff that you haven't seen, and even if it's stuff you've seen, it's stuff you want to see again, So
yeah. Is there stuff with Petty? Because I love the Petty.
There's some. The only stuff with Petty is really that thing that you've seen that
longer. Yeah, I love
that interview in Petty's home studio.
And where Petty's talking about when they come down to the set of Larry Sanders that he seemed stressed.
Yeah,
Gary did. So it got into his stressfulness and stuff.
Absolutely. It's exhaustive, and I don't mean that pejoratively.
No, yeah.
But we just saw part 2, which was 2.5 hours. It's like a 2-night thing. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You mean it's 5 hours altogether?
It's probably.
Man, I'm going to love
it. Judd, when he introduced it, he was very much like, yeah, they told me to kind of do what I want to do, so I played it long.
Oh, well, when I went to the memorial for Gary Shanley, I had not realized how, intense his life had been, and that you could tell that he was going through a lot of, what do you call it? Angst, a lot, And that quote by Sarah Silverman, I thought was the greatest quote, which was, he wasn't Zen, he wanted desperately to be Zen.
Yeah, and that comes through in the movie.
Yeah.
Too. It's actually called The Zen Diaries of Gary Shanley.
Oh, cool.
But the times I met him, he was uncomfortable. He was an uncomfortable human being.
Yeah. He was nice, always very nice to me.
He was certainly nice, but, and I worked with him in a couple of rooms, once writing for him, once writing for Judd. And
on
40-Year-Old Virgin. There was
okay.
A table punch-up day
Yeah.
And then I wrote for him for the Emmy Awards one time.
And I bet, was he fun to write for, or was it hard?
It was kind of hard, and he was impressed with my jokes, but not my volume of jokes.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh boy, I'd be in trouble then, right?
There was a couple he really liked, but it became very clear to me that what he really wanted was ideas for jokes.
Oh,
so that he could write them, which I can relate to, but. But and so that's why he really wanted more and more, and I was kind of brought in late, and I was working on a show, so I didn't I didn't do a full. Got to impress Gary Shandling,
Right, but I think he was.
But I probably should have.
Well, not with that voice, and the Dudley Do-Right voice. Not. But he was very. Everyone knows, not speaking at school, to say he was a very difficult person in many ways. But part of why his show was so great was he was.
Yeah, what I get is that he was completely exhaustive about
everything.
About let's
talk about this.
Let's figure out every possibility.
Yeah.
Even if we have a joke we love, let's see if there's not one more,
Well, I had heard something...
which is horrifying for writers, and I think lots of writers were horrified working with them.
Well, once he was at the
comedy... I think they also were they liked the challenge, too.
I've spoken to people who've written, and I'm not going to reveal their names, because why should I want to mess up? I don't have anything going.
Right.
But, I know that it was he could be difficult. He could be, he could be a whole thing. His act was that way, too.
Yeah.
But once at Comedy Magic Club, this comic, I think I forgot his name, Brett Leake, Gary came in, I said, before the show, and he said, "You guys ready tonight to see?" He made some kind of metaphor about the show. We ready to punch it in? And then Brett said, "Oh, I think Gary's funning us." And then Gary got really mad because he was trying to be let's get this show going, like a prayer circle or whatever he wanted.
Right.
He was being serious.
He was trying so hard, it seemed, especially in the last years of his life, to his whole thing was about creating a moment. It seemed like it was really about trying to make something genuine happen.
That's interesting,
in a room, which is kind of weird because, his style is still jokey, It's not that conversational, It's very faux conversational, So it's weird that
That he would. Well, I thought
he was trying to. He would sometimes try to create something real with something that's also sort of artificial. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I thought. Larry Sanders. At the time, I thought it was the perfect show. It was before I saw The Office, which I thought was also like the original Office was like an amazing. It was like, I'd never seen anything that seemed way more real in a way.
Yeah.
But also Shandling on that Larry Sanders, he did hit this tone, which was almost like the sweet spot of where he could use stand-up comedy and joking about things, and it still was coming through a character that seemed real to me.
Yeah, because I think it was real. I mean, I think, and you see that in the doc, too, as they talk about, it's like he needs the authenticity. It had, that's how that seemed to be, and I can't speak for him, obviously, but it seemed to me that the authenticity of the moment was absolutely crucial to him. So on Larry Sanders, he was completely playing himself authentically, I think,
And the show before, which I never really watched that much.
I mean, obviously it wasn't. It was a heightened thing, but
he was but if you watched him, the thing that's amazing about that character is if you watched him host the Tonight Show, he was always great hosting the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
So his character was so close to that Larry Sanders then. You know what I mean?
Right. No, because he was so serious about his craft. I'm more. He was way more serious than Larry Sanders was. Larry Sanders was vain. He put his energy into vanity more than comedy.
That's true. But
Shandling put just a shit ton of energy into his work, and it showed. He did a couple of all-time classic shows.
Now I never watched the first one that much.
Really?
It's the Gary Shandling show. That one I had trouble with because it was so
meta.
Yeah, and you would think I'd love every bit of that. I just didn't watch that much of it. I know that it's good though.
It's really good. Yeah. I mean, it's I think it was in it. It lives best in its time.
Right.
But it because it was mocking sitcom conventions that kind of came before it.
Right.
So,
with the theme song. I mean, the theme song is so great.
The theme song is great, and but the whole series was certainly groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think Jerry Belson may have worked on that. I don't know. I never gave it a chance to. And it's so weird because I'm such a huge. I became so addicted to Larry Sanders that became my life in a way of like my reference to a show I would like to come up with and a show I would like to do.
That was my first spec script when I wrote. When
wow.
I came out here.
Yeah. So. And I was on the show once, as we've talked about, but I was so nervous, and he was very nice to me.
Someone I think posted that clip today.
Oh yeah, I was afraid to. I don't know if you're supposed to. Okay, so here's what Bob Saget writes to me.
Okay.
He goes, Andy, Bob Saget. This is what he texts me.
Okay.
Andy, Bob Saget here, and I am scheduled to do your show this Friday at 9:00, and I want you to promote it and make sure that I get there early and I find out what the hell I'm supposed to do. Now, this is just kidding, right?
Right.
And you and I talk about it and hang out and be friends like we were one day when you got paid to be my friend, right? So I said, when I was paid to be your friend, you also picked up a lot of checks at the commissary. So here's what I write to him. I think you should do stand-up with notes, like an alternative comedian, and talk about the biz.
Uh-huh.
You must pretend that you don't care about your act. He took that seriously.
Did he?
He wrote back, I don't want to do my act. I have a special out. Maybe just want to talk and maybe Q&A with the audience. Can we talk like on the phone? Then he called me and I didn't answer for some reason. I tried to call you just now, but your mailbox is full. Are you homeless now? Let's talk before Friday and figure out what it will be. But I don't do my act like that in front of anybody and then talk about it because that's not what I do. I don't really do an act. I tell stories and have some dick jokes, but I'm kind of really into the comedy of it all. So I would love to do something with you, but let's talk on the phone. He was afraid I wasn't going to call him back or something.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I said, I was kidding around, Mr. Saget. I was making fun of alternative comedy. You could do whatever you want. I have a doctor's appointment now. I scheduled to deal with the emotions of this text exchange. I'll call you later. I was literally worried that if I didn't pick up the phone.
No, you would have freaked out.
He goes, please call me, and I want to help you with your emotional problems and also your inability to convince me you were kidding. But I think that,
comics, aren't we fun?
Well, it's interesting though to think of something like a guy who's done every room in the world when he was doing stand-up. But this is a whole different scene. It's a different scene. It shouldn't be a different scene.
It shouldn't be that.
It shouldn't be that
scene. It's a comedy show.
No, he's just insecure.
Yes.
But he was great. He was very, very funny.
Yeah. And Mark Maron was there.
Mark Maron was very funny, and he was great. and they both were competing to see who could go on earlier.
Right. And leave immediately after.
Well, no, I think Mark actually stayed around most of the evening. Bob left at some point.
Yeah.
And then texted me, great show, ending out on stage, blah, 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 whole thing. But it was so much fun. And then I can't think of who else on this.
Kyle Kinane, I know.
Kyle Kinane closed it out. He followed Buddy Cole.
Yeah.
Who's Scott Thompson's. You know that character?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And Kyle Kinane.
Scott Thompson, that's a hell of a show.
And he comes out and goes, can't believe I'm closing. I was watching Scott Thompson do Buddy Cole when I was in junior high school. He's like, he felt like he shouldn't be closing the show. He is very funny, Kyle.
Yeah, he is.
And what am I going to joke about now that I like everybody? Everyone's funny.
Well, there's now, there's the whole Ricky Gervais movement.
I can't.
now.
Oh, I wasn't going to bring it up. Josh, come on. That's not me.
No, I've seen your retweet bonanza.
Oh my God. I stumbled on this.
I was trying to articulate your particular sick genius.
You were?
Yeah. With, because clearly, you are hate forward. Like when the rest of us just have an icky feeling about somebody, you have like a fully formed hatred.
So like fruit forward in a wine?
Like fashion forward or fruit forward, yeah. And so I think, I got to give it up to you for that.
It's a skill?
It's a gift, I think. It's really a gift. As I saw you retweeted your Trump thing like for the 90th time the other day.
That one I feel is a public service. I look at that. I have to say, I look at that every time, Josh, and I go, wow, it was pretty goddamn good. It's exactly like
it was, but it's the same thing. Exactly.
Well, I don't have any more to add.
But that's hate forward is what I'm saying.
Hate forward.
I was using that as part of the evidence.
Right.
You had this very fully formed hatred of Trump.
Oh, God, I hate
10 years before other people fully formed. Everyone had the icky feeling about him.
Yeah, that's true.
But they didn't have the full. I mean, you had to do it for a TV show, granted.
But I felt it every day of my life. I used to talk about him all the time.
So I commend you for your whatever kind of hate-dar that is.
Well, I also was that were you about to lower the boom on me?
Huh?
Were you going to lower the boom on me?
No, I think it's awesome that people are finally.
But what's so funny is like. Well, you wouldn't be able to tell this because you're not looking at my tweets like I'm looking at the tweets thinking you're looking at them.
Right.
But there's always this like every sixth tweet I could enter the OCD area.
No, I mean I think it seems like you're riding it in a pretty healthy. Glee is fine.
Right.
But don't engage.
Oh no.
In that way, other than just silent kind of glee.
I'm proud to say that when after all this was over that. Because I can look at my shortcomings and not get freaked out. He very effectively trolled me. He did a really, really good job. He's almost like an expert. He's an expert. He was a bully before there was the internet.
Well, it was mutual trolling going on. Let's be honest.
Well, that's true. But I don't think I would print a bogus article by some guy and have millions of my fans go after him. But I still retweet idiot stuff, so I'm really no better.
Yeah. But it's, but I think, I can't say that it's your hate forward approach that opened the floodgates.
Isn't
for
it
people,
amazing though?
But I think he's now earned it from a greater portion of the population with this latest special.
And the nice thing about it is how open he is to criticism.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if you know this, but he literally, I'm not sure that there's any negative comment that he hasn't addressed to the person.
Right. Well, I think he spent half his special addressing them as well, from what I'm reading.
Well, I'm trying to get Susan to watch it with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're going to watch it. Hey, watch it, aren't you?
I don't know. I don't know if I will, because I've read enough about it to know that it just fulfills all my suspicions.
Yes.
So that I don't know if I need to. Because you're pretty much the Ricky Gervais in this partnership. You can carry that flag.
And carry the torch.
Yeah.
Well, what's amazing about it is, again, when you love somebody, initially it gets weird when Leno
was your first hate,
and he was great. He was great at one point
because he disappointed you. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think fondly about my first
Do
date.
you think it's partially your fear of abandonment that plays into that?
My fear of abandonment plays into everything I do.
Right.
If I feel like you're going to get mad at me and abandon me, then it's terrible for both of us. It's not good. It's not good, but I'm getting better.
Sure.
All right.
I rubbed it up against my biggest piece of mental illness the other night at that premiere. I felt my social anxiety like fuck, I just don't like this.
I don't. I would feel if I was at a Judd Apatow thing and was Adam Sandler there?
I didn't see him, but he well could have been.
Yeah. I'd be nervous about all those
Pauly
people.
Shore was there. Actually, it was nice. I saw some people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and it was really nice.
That's what I saw at the were you at the memorial?
I was not, no.
So I'm kind of doing like a humble brag. Is that what I'm doing? Oh, I guess you weren't at the memorial. What am I doing?
No, we talked about it, I think, when you went.
Oh, okay. But I also saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
You know. And then, nobody could have predicted that Brad Gray would pass away the way. I mean, the whole thing's a tragedy. Brad Gray passed away. Why am I bringing that into it? Yeah. Who cares? What is my problem?
In that room, it wasn't a tragedy.
No, I know, because I know at the memorial, the hate for him was
palpable.
Was hate forward. Yeah. I was with Brillstein Gray for a brief period. It was a very unpleasant period.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
No.
I didn't like the good cop, bad cop idea of show business.
Right.
But it's not even like they were more like hip pocket bad cops, Right. It's not like one of these big time operators.
No, it was like they were just moving their stable around to different projects of theirs.
Yeah, because they all had comics and they all had them.
Right.
That lawsuit must have been crazy.
I'm sure it was.
Gary Shandling sued him, but well, we've talked enough about Gary Shandling. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you can tell when I'm out of topics, but I'm ready to go again. I can be fresh. Hey, can I make this as a like a running thing? Let's hit reset. Come on, some kind of a. What did they say? Let's hit refresh on the show.
Everything was fine.
I know that's the problem.
I don't know what your problem is.
That's the thing. No, I
even brought up social anxiety, and you derailed it off to the side.
That's right. Now, how did you deal with your social anxiety?
By noticing that I was having it and just trying to.
That is what I've been doing it every time. I've been to a couple of. I went to the Portlandia rap party.
Yeah.
And it was actually a lot of fun because it was a small room and it was intimate. But I always worry.
But it's I think we have different voices going on in that situation, though. Because you're worried. I'm really not sitting there worrying that I'm going to come off badly or that I'm going to piss somebody off.
Oh, that's all I'm doing.
Like, that's not it at all for me.
Oh, what is your discomfort about?
It's hard to put my finger on it. But I just fucking hate mingling. I hate it. And, like on a visceral level, and part of it is ADD.
Right.
So there is that thing of like, I can't quite
remember what you're saying.
Well, I can't quite pay full attention because there's other people talking around.
And it's loud. It's never not
loud. But my ear, the way I'm wired somehow is I can't shut out other people talking. So right. I hear other snippets of conversation when I'm talking to somebody in a loud room.
And you can't.
And it's hard to process for me sometimes. I mean, not like I freeze up like a robot, but. But it adds stress to it for me somehow. And I just don't, and I don't like the conversations. It's like, so I end up like not engaging, if I see somebody I absolutely know,
yes,
I'll go in there, but if it's somebody who I feel like, I might have to reintroduce myself to them, it's like, why bother?
Well, it makes total sense to me. And the thing is, I used to go in and I've had to really change my behavior because I had to remember what my behavior was. So I absolutely know that on certain parties, I would go in and talk to someone I knew too long.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes not even thinking about it. Now I try and make aware, like, people, how when someone's talking, you want to go to somewhere else? So I do try and hold the rules of socializing, like understand the rules better
right.
without making myself feel bad. But that whole general thing of like, feeling all bottled up.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes socially awkward. You just don't like it.
I just hate it.
That's a stronger position.
It's a weird, but it's like I said, it's not like I can pinpoint a fear it unlocks even, like it's really not like an inadequacy thing.
Right. With me, it
in
is.
fact, I think it's probably the opposite. I'm sad to say. I think
you're bored?
I think it's arrogance. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's, I think it's literally like, this isn't going to be interesting for me.
Well, you hide that well because most people would think you're shy or just.
Well, it is shyness. Shyness is the thing, but shyness sounds like a childhood disease to me,
Well, then you mean,
but
you mean bashful.
I have a basic shyness,
Yes, that's true. I could see that you could, but the other thing is I realize, let's say if I go out to dinner with you or whatever, I realize that my thinking of like, oh, I'm talkative. My thing of being talkative is a little too much. You know what I mean? It's like I'm uncomfortable. I know now, but if people are quiet, I know now. It doesn't mean that they hate me.
It's not an "is this thing on" moment.
Yeah, or though I have to entertain them in the moment.
Right. But it was a fun night, regardless. It really was. It wasn't like I was so overcome with it that it paralyzed me or anything. It was just like I was acutely aware because I hadn't really been to a thing like that in a while.
Did he have a like question and answer thing after?
No, it was just like a party. It was like drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and then the movie, and then more food and drinks. But I saw Linda Cardellini, who lit up and greeted me like a family member, which was cool. Extremely nice. And
she was great on that show. Everybody
saw
was
John
great.
Regi, saw a bunch of people who I had worked with who I hadn't seen in a long time.
I love Regi.
Yeah,
and Regi loves me. I don't know. That's the last second.
And then there was that level of people who it's like, oh, it's cool to be in the same room with him, but I probably shouldn't go talk to them. Like James L. Brooks.
Well, this is the thing, is I've met James L. Brooks at Phil's house, but Phil didn't introduce me to James L. Brooks.
Yeah.
Don't you think Phil should say Andy Kindler? So I started just joking with James L. Brooks.
Right.
And he says to me, wow, I think maybe I quoted every line from Modern Romance. He goes, wow, you really know a lot about comedy. It's like, I'm a comedian. If Phil had introduced me properly, you would know that I'm not just a savant. Maybe I am. Yeah, but
No, you're not.
But yeah, I always get nervous like that. And when I was at for Portlandia, I got starstruck by like Carrie Brownstein. I have to admit to myself that certain people, like I love Carrie Brownstein and Fred Armisen the way they are. So I almost like, these two people are the greatest improvers I've ever seen. So I do keep myself back.
Yeah. I just like in a situation like that, I know I'm not going to have the conversation I want to have with him.
Yeah.
So I go have a fake conversation just so I can say I met. Actually, I've been in other rooms with him before and made the same decision.
Well, I was just on Portlandia, Josh. I don't like to promote these things because I wasn't told I was on.
Yeah.
And you know what else, Josh? I have to say this. I'm up for an award.
Are you?
Yeah. And this is, people going to think this is one of those podcasts where people do this.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to sound like that. But like with Peter, what was those two guys? Peter Goober and somebody else.
Peters,
they had a little,
John Peters.
Yeah, they had a little talk show where it was all inside.
Oh, no, that was Peter Bart.
Peter Bart and John Goober. Or something like that, right?
Peter Bart and Peter Goober.
Peter Goober. Yeah, it's the I'm up for an a web award. A web award for the best supporting actor in a web series.
Excellent.
Isn't it right?
Yeah.
So it'll happen. So when should I start to act differently towards the others? When do I count the money, first of all?
All right. Demonet. Oh, you didn't see that movie. History of the World, Part 1.
Is that... Who is that? Mel Brooks?
Yes.
Is that the 10,000-year-old man?
No, for fuck's sake.
Is that really a movie of his?
Yes.
When? Before Spaceballs?
Yes, before Spaceballs. I'm going to say 1982.
Do you say B.S. and A.D. when you before you talk about his career before Spaceballs? Spaceballs is unwatchable, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we shouldn't say that
borderline.
though,
It's
he's hilarious.
It's it was 10 years too late,
right?
and it was just that, you know. But there was funny jokes in it. They were almost all puns, you know.
You could not have predicted to me that his stuff, I love his stuff, but you mean like just a movie like The Producers or a movie like Blazing Saddles would be as great as it was.
Huh?
I literally think if you pitched The Producers, it would sound like the intention of The Producers.
Right.
Where they're singing about Hitler. I couldn't see how you could come up with that idea and that it would be funny. And that's why I guess I don't make movies. You know what I mean? Because it's you have to see past he's going to purposely he's going to try and close the show, and that's going to make people laugh at the comedy of Hitler. Kind of.
Well, but I mean, it's.
Josh, I can't get out of this thing. Isn't there a way for you just to say, well, Andy, you know, sometimes you have something good to offer. I had nothing to offer.
It's a little something we call a premise.
I'm just trying to get out of the conversation. Okay. I don't remember what I was arguing now.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But, okay, also, Producers, to me, isn't great all the way through. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But then there's parts where it gets... I don't know what I'm saying, Josh. Do you love that movie all the way through?
Why did you go back?
Do you love that movie? Just tell me you agree with me about one thing.
I don't love every single moment of The Producers.
Okay, good. So if anybody write letters, write to you about it.
Yeah. Here's the in memoriam section. We lost Mike McDonald.
Oh yeah. Did you know him?
I did not. I only knew his.
But did we talk about when I went and did the thing with him?
I think we did.
Yeah. So that set that he did at the Improv that night was an amazing set, and it's going to be in that movie, I think.
Yeah.
You know, the movie was about him, just to do a documentary about him.
Okay.
I was thinking more and more about him, is like just how sweet he was. He was like one of the biggest. I think he was the biggest act in Canada at one point.
Well, he was the first of that generation stand-up stars for sure. He was like one of those guys who was there already when I started, you know? And you kind of went, "How did he get there already?"
Yeah,
you know.
And I happened to have met him just hanging out at the festivals, where he was just riotlessly funny to me, because he would do Leno for 8 hours in a row.
Yeah,
and he had those cartoon faces where you could make the eyes.
He was very muggy.
Do you share my theory that people are there are people you can identify as Stan Laurels? Like, I identify him as a Stan Laurel, but maybe I'm pushing it. I'm trying to write a book. People, when I was a little kid, I looked like Stan Laurel.
Yeah. And
Thank you. What?
Okay.
I don't know what the theory is. The theory would be that there's an archetype. There's a Stan Laurel archetype that lives through all of us. And there's a sweetness to it. But then how would they all be like Stan Laurel? There's Stan Laurel.
Right.
So then you could only compare people to Stan Laurel.
Right.
You couldn't say
Don't bring Hardy into this. Don't bring him in.
No, but I'm not.
I'm
not selling him short.
Don't even say Hardy.
Well, anybody with a mustache could be a Hardy in a way, right?
I don't think
Stan Laurel had more of a.
Did Hardy have a mustache? I don't think he did. I really don't think so. I'm going to look now.
Why did I say that?
I don't know. I got to look.
That's the music from the Stan Laurel. First of all, if you are
he did. He had a Hitler.
He had a Hitler.
He had a Hitler. Okay.
And so anybody could look a little bit like that, but
sure.
Well, of course,
Hitler.
But Chuck.
So Hitler, was he a Laurel or a Hardy?
He was a Charlie Chaplin.
So the theory needs work.
No, but do you think this is a good party game, or you know what I'm saying? Like they do. Are you? Which one are you from Friends? Miranda.
I'm a Fatty Arbuckle.
I'm a Fatty Arbuckle. I was accused. My career was ruined, and I believe I was set up.
I'm a Frank Nelson, the guy who went, yes.
But we love that guy, right?
May I help you?
Did he do versions of that all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. That was his thing. Yes.
These are awkward. Now, these are awkward. How about the guy who went, do? The guy in the Laurel and Hardy movies. Do.
Yeah.
And he always wore a nightcap.
That was his thing.
But he wasn't. Yeah, he was different than the.
He was Jimmy Doe Duncan, is what they called him.
Merry Christmas, you savings alone. Merry Christmas, you other landmark building. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter.
We also lost Stephen Hawking this week.
Yeah. And
we lost him.
What did he do? I had lost touch with him.
Me too.
I'm embarrassed to say that
I wrote him, and it took him forever to write back.
I'm embarrassed to say that Einstein, I kind of got what he was saying, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really get what, except when you go Big Bang, I don't really get what was his shtick?
Yeah, don't, why even try?
Okay, but I tried to read one of his books. I found it unreadable.
I listened to it on tape while I was on the road years and years ago.
Did you get it?
Yeah, enough to keep moving through the book.
Right.
What I learned was he was a good enough teacher so that if you didn't understand what he was saying, you didn't need to.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know something with the Big Bang, and I'm doing my own research on it. I don't want to talk too much about what's in the works for me.
Right.
So that was said that he passed away.
It was.
And it was said
that,
what?
The half century past his life expectancy.
It's unbelievable.
Was pretty amazing. But.
How could that have even happened that he could have lived? Because they don't know. It's not a science how long people are going to live from these.
They were saying that because he got it young. Usually it comes on later in life. There's like juvenile Lou Gehrig's or
right.
ALS. And they think that which is a much more slowly progressing version.
Oh, that's what he had.
Onset, so they think that he probably had that version of it, and it progressed more slowly in him.
Man, I always think, could I have done that? And I'm not even talking about the physics part.
Right.
Would they have said, I just got back from visiting Andy. His spirits are so high. No way. No.
But his voice is so much better.
Yeah, it's so much less annoying. Nobody would visit me after the first, because you want to visit a guy who's like, you know what? I'm fighting this. Right. And I'd be like, oh God.
We'd put some macros on your screen. We'd put just one that was just and a third thing.
I would like incredible drugs if I had any kind of problem like that. Why am I? This is like the Mr. Depressing.
Yeah.
You know what I don't want to
Good luck getting people to give you acid when you're paralyzed.
I don't know if is acid what you're looking for. I thought you were more like morphine.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go to the questions.
Hey, okay.
We got a lot of them.
How did the show go last week? It is as good as you expected, better than you expected?
It was too long.
God
damn it was like an hour 55.
Are you kidding me?
After editing. It was way over 2 hours.
God.
Not way over, but.
It shouldn't be so fascinating.
No, you should.
Oh. Ooh.
So do you want to go to the question?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. I don't know why I have this voice. Sure.
Before I posted I've talked about the cancer thing before on the show, but I posted the actual stand-up bit,
cool.
My cancer chunk on YouTube this week.
That is very cool.
So if you want to hear my cancer story, it's under J. Elvis Weinstein, the cancer chunk on YouTube.
And did you get the results of the last test?
Yes.
So you're all clean.
All good.
Oh, good.
All good. Let's just go through this list. First, the people who followed directions and used the Test Show 46 hashtag.
What are the other people doing?
Some people don't. Some people don't.
That steams me.
Yeah. Amelia Fox wants to know, in Test Show 15, Andy admitted to humping his former comedy partner, Bill Kaufman, without Bill's consent while they rehearsed their act. If Andy began humping Josh, how would Josh react? Would the podcast survive an incident like that?
I don't think it would. I think he'd punch, like a reflex. He'd punch me.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different relationship.
I would certainly push you to the ground.
Right. This was an accepted role of our relationship that he was trying to get me to stop humping him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could probably alpha you into stopping quicker.
But you wouldn't also you wouldn't be amused by the play fighting side of it.
No. I had an older brother.
Oh my God! Why? I thought it was hilarious when I would try to hump Bill. This was back in the days when you could hump your partner, and that wasn't considered wrong.
Bill will be here next week with his Me Too story.
But we were both the same sex. What am I saying? I'm the guy who makes it worse with every sentence. Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It wasn't consensual.
Oh, we're funny. We're funny on paper.
Tweet Bahara. Thoughts on the Kennedy assassination? I'm one of those guys. I think Lee Harvey Oswald was at least the primary assassin.
I think he was too.
I don't think there was anyone at the grassy knoll either.
Yeah, I think ultimately maybe that's true, but
when I was there in Dealey Plaza, and
it's not that hard a shot.
It's not that hard a shot
because he's coming.
It's not that hard a shot.
He's not that far from you.
Yeah,
and you're shooting him when he's going away. That's how
right.
It's not that I had the same.
And he was a Marine
thing.
sniper. I mean, it's not that big a stretch. It's really not. It's regular row here. Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yeah.
How do you think the age you started doing comedy affected your career trajectory?
Well, we both started at different ages. So you were young.
For me, it wasn't just my career trajectory. It was my life trajectory. Yeah, I started at 15. And I was like, boom, this is it. It was like, I feel like it saved my life in some ways.
Wow.
I wasn't like suicidal, but it was just like suddenly I had an identity I could take on. And a group of people I could hang out with that I liked instead of fucking high school, which was like a fucking prison situation for me.
Wow. It's amazing. It's like you had so much bravery, but I guess you didn't think of his bravery.
I really didn't, no. But it was just like, it was like instantly knew this was fucking it, you know?
Didn't they do articles about the boy wonder hits the road? Come on, you're the youngest.
There were some art. There were like local.
I mean, come on. You started when you were 6, right? You started when you were 5.
Yeah, 5.
And you were touring with you had a partner from 6 to...
Yes. I used to hump his leg.
Now, I like to tell the kids...
Humpy and the Man, we were called. Humpy.
I like to tell the kids that the fact that I started when I'm 28, I feel that that's a good story when the kids come up to me. So they don't feel... Because a lot of kids go like I'm 30, I'm starting now. That's young to me.
Right.
So I felt it was good to have a life before I did stand-up comedy, but it's not like I planned it that way. Right. I just got disgusted with music.
I would meet guys on the road who would seethe that I started young.
I love when people are like not that self-aware enough of their jealousies to derail that anger.
Right.
You know, come on. What are you worried about?
But yeah, no, it meant everything. I mean, stand-up was like. It came at the right time for me.
That's great.
Greg Kelly, do you know how to keep score in bowling? Yes, I do.
I don't remember though.
Yeah, I haven't done it in 20 years, but I could do it.
You carry something.
Yeah. It's like long division.
You know, I never have had to do it because I've only had perfect games.
So it's just X.
I don't even just keep it in my head. I have never had a perfect game in any part of life.
The perfect game in bowling for me is, of course, not going bowling.
My hand literally hurts after the first game.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to look for... And for most of my life, I couldn't find a ball that I could fit. That was, I got little tiny fingers.
Is that they were too far?
Well, yeah, and I was a little guy. The whole thing was depressing. No, I actually liked bowling at one point.
It's, I
never got better at it, though.
There's no part of me that ever thinks I should go bowling, but when it happens, it's not like...
You're there.
Yeah.
I'd rather go miniature golfing.
Would you? Probably a wash for me. It's probably...
Would you? I say that like as a fun thing.
Because we have a miniature golf course.
No,
really
we don't.
Close.
Please don't tell me that.
Really close.
Where do we have a miniature golf course?
Up there on Sepulveda.
Oh, God. I just got a little sick. Well, the one thing that never got old to me, because you got to stay out longer.
There's batting cages there, too.
That I want to do.
Yeah.
Have you gone to the batting cages?
20 years ago, yeah.
Oh, I would do that again.
Okay.
I mean, for the first time.
Sure.
Because I actually learned how to swing.
Oh,
with women.
This I gotta see.
No, but if you get the thing in the clown's nose.
Are you taking batting practice? That's fantastic.
So this is just like a regular golf course, but it's smaller? That's amazing.
Are you getting this old Jewish man, Louis?
Louis? Lou? Why are you clutching your heart, Lou? Why would I have Lou having a heart attack?
I don't know. It was you that was supposed to have the heart attack, and that's another.
Oh, is that how he went?
You were the old man with the swinging.
I'm an old man.
Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. I hate it when you sing along. Michelle Weiss.
I wish he was kidding, folks. I really do.
Michelle Weiscarver. Do you gentlemen have any plans to do more episodes in front of an audience? I love the one you did last year at Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis. We don't have plans, but we have intentions.
We have intentions. And Alex Brazel has I haven't answered his texts.
Yeah.
He's like, when are you going to get into this? Get it into a festival. Get into a festival immediately. That's his message to us.
Yeah. Let's talk about your attempts to get us into the...
Well, I called the one guy.
Yeah.
You know what I did get, though? I got my sleep results back, and I stopped breathing 62 times an hour.
Right.
Did I tell you this already?
Yeah, of course you did.
God damn it. I just came back from the sleep study.
Before last week's show.
Oh, Jesus. No, but I'm getting the machine Wednesday. So that's
good.
I bring it up because I don't do things. I don't follow through. Now things are happening.
Yeah, you got into the system, and the system did it for you.
Well, why can't you look on the bright side?
Tommy Barcanero wants to know, do the ends justify the means when it comes to method acting? For example, when assessing Jim Carrey's performance in Man on the Moon, should we also take into account the stress that he caused on set when he relentlessly refused to break character?
I have a problem with these people who refuse to break character unless the results are great.
Right.
And I didn't think he was very good. While I was prejudiced, I wanted Craig Anton to get the part.
Yeah.
And I felt like I immediately went home after that movie and watched Andy Kaufman, and you can see what's missing is like there's some kind of vulnerability missing. You know, it's hard to do too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm sure it was obnoxious, on set with him, but I also think, at least in that specific case of Man on the Moon, like Andy Kaufman put people through that same same discomfort.
It's understandable.
Yeah, so it doesn't it feels kind of true to the part. I think in other parts it's probably less appropriate, but but as a director, I'm not saying me as a director, but I think as a director wants what's going to get the person to get their performance.
It's just like I feel like sometimes you could be near something historically. Like I was near something, we were near something we knew before it was being made, and we knew the person. I felt I knew the person who could have maybe made that into a great movie because you didn't know who he was. I think it's very hard to go Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman, or maybe I'm just doing it because I didn't want him to play the part.
Maybe. I mean, I think, I don't think it was like uncanny what he did.
Right.
But I think, because of that, I do think that that discomfort,
Yes.
That slight, that whatever, however many degrees offness.
Right.
He brought.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really had, I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan, but I don't have and I made fun of him and stuff because I don't like these kind of movies like Nature's Revenge and Don't Go in That Room and whatever the thing is. What is that? Pet Detective?
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fan of that kind of stuff. Well, I think he's I think he's a decent actor. And I don't like movies where it's like if you have to lie the whole movie or I don't like any movie where it's for one day he gets hit in the head and he talks in French.
Right. High concept.
I could have said simpler.
It was not as funny though.
But did you like any? I mean, I liked him in that one thing where he doesn't know he's on TV.
The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like him better as a. I mean, I don't like Jim Carrey movies, like you're saying,
Yeah.
But I like him as an actor.
He's getting intense now, though. He's like.
He's pretty.
What are the drawings that he's doing? Are those his drawings?
He's doing paintings. Yeah.
Isn't that a George W. Bush tactic? Well, he's got to be. I'm being stupid, but why did everybody get upset? Because
he did a Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh yeah,
that
and
was
she's such
less than flattering.
She's such a sympathetic person.
Right.
I restrain myself, but when Huckabee comes on and starts to act like his feelings are hurt, guy's totally a moron. See why I don't tweet? I have nothing new to say about these idiots.
Svenjamin just wanted to let Andy know that a CPAP is a little weird to get used to, but I've had one for 7+ years and have not slept a night without one. even when traveling. It can be that life-changing, life-saving, and a third thing.
Yay! This makes me very happy about it. Now my brother has the nose and mouth thing. He said he couldn't just do the nose thing. So, I'd like to ask, what's the name of the person?
Spenjamin.
Spenjamin. Do you have the nose and mouth or just the nose? I think he's going to say nose and mouth. Well, what do I know? But I'm getting it. I'm so worried I'm going to get the wrong one.
You'll have it before Spenjamin can answer.
I know, but I want them to get me. Look at my schnoz.
Yeah.
You got to take that into account.
It's not that.
I think of myself as having a Jewish nose.
Okay, it's sick, yeah.
I know.
Now that I look.
Do you think that's a fear of anti-Semitism? I think that might be what it was, like thinking you look Jewish.
Yeah.
That must be that, right?
I don't think your Jewishness comes through your nose, though.
Like, I look like Screech to myself.
Do you?
Not really. Still be a funny reference. No, when I was 14, I kind of was embarrassed by how I looked.
Yeah, most 14-year-olds are really confident in their appearance.
And I think I got over that when I got really hunky. Like in the lab, when I got the six board abs and the wash tub
Base.
Yeah. I was ripped in high school.
Yeah, by others.
On weed.
Kenny Loggins III.
I love the way we throw out jokes with no commitment. We just throw out wordplay with no commitment. No feelings about it at all. Is this the real Kenny Loggins? No.
No, it's Kenny Loggins III.
That's a great thing.
Enjoyed the name drop of Andy Huggins in the Texas episode. He's a family friend and a great comedian. Keep up the great work. Still loving the show.
That's very nice to
Still
say.
loving the show. I'm not sure how to take that.
Well, because I think
there's going to be a day where I don't love the show.
Now you sound like me. What does he mean by that?
Just as I'm like, I have no idea what makes people like the show.
Mm-hmm.
I also have no idea what would make someone suddenly not like the show.
Well, Larry Berger likes the show, and he loves you. And I was like, I tried to dissuade him.
I understand. Why wouldn't you? I Splotchy says, I heard Josh reference Frogger in a previous show. What are your favorite video games? Do you have a favorite video game?
I don't have any.
Pong.
Well, that's a joke video game, right?
Well, I don't know. When's the last time you played? What's the last video game you played?
The last video game I played, I think, was a pinball machine.
Yeah. So
that's the closest I got.
That's your favorite, I'm guessing.
And Mrs. Pac-Man. It's so tacky.
Yeah.
I don't think I've never played anything real.
My favorite of that era was Zaxxon. And I think my favorite of the modern video game era is Red Dead Redemption.
Is that like a Grand Theft Auto feel?
It's like Grand Theft Auto, but in the Old West.
Wow. So you have to have... what does it require? Good reflexes? What does it require? You have to learn what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But you think... Because I was like, will I get into playing Madden basketball if I learned how to play? Probably not, right?
Not Madden basketball. Nope.
Well, what is that? You just like,
It's football.
Oh. But what is he like? Oh, I'm John Madden now, and I'm throwing a pass.
Yes, it's you make John Madden run around against the 1985 Chicago Bears.
Oh God, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a dead end for me. Video games.
I don't think so. I think it's more of a non-starter.
That's true. It's true because a dead end implies I tried it.
Yes.
It's a non-starter.
Okay, we got a Michael Muser asked about the Gervais special.
Are you going to watch? I want to watch it so bad. But then I don't watch anything else.
Yeah, I don't either. Why would I,
Well,
that's the thing I can't do these days, is put hate watching in the queue ahead of...
It's a hard thing because it takes so much... Even though you love hate watching it, it does drain you.
Right. I'm trying to watch things that I like right now.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But the thing that's fascinating about Gervais is that you could see this, or I could see this. He's obviously not secure about his act. That's why if he was 100% sure, he wouldn't be out there saying, you people are going to be offended. Are you offended?
But he also wouldn't be like reading his fucking tweets. You know?
Oh, that's the part I can't wait. How come I didn't make? If he was reading his tweets, why didn't I make it in there?
I don't know. Maybe
that's
you did.
Typical.
Maybe you did. You should watch.
Oh, isn't that typical troll reaction?
Yeah.
How come Ricky didn't talk about me?
What did I watch last night that I liked? Oh, I watched Muppet Guys Talking, which was a Frank Oz's doc that he made with, and it's literally that. It's him sitting there talking. Frank Oz.
Oh, Frank Oz. Okay, yeah. Wait a second. Is he the Muppet guy?
Well, Jim Henson created the Muppets, but Frank Oz was one of the primary
I
collaborators.
never I hear Oz. I'm thinking Wizard of. I can't. He's not related to the Wizard of Oz, correct? I'm so annoyed.
Kind of goes without saying, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is the first time I've seen it. Most people find me charming.
Do they?
No. Don't squeeze the charm and...
See, at least if I was you, I would understand my social anxiety.
Oh, you happy with yourself?
Yeah.
Laughing at your own material? I heard that. What?
What? What's the dumbest thing someone ever said to you after a gig? Asks Ed Kaz.
Ed, I know, is a friend of mine.
Is
Ed,
it
I
Kaz
think,
or
lives
Kaz?
in New Jersey.
Is it Kaz or Kaz?
Kaz. I think it's Kaz. Well, the thing that's, I think probably the stupidest thing is when people come up and they assume that you, like in the old days especially, they assume that you must know you were terrible. You know what I mean? Or something. Or people who come up and in a sympathetic way try to figure it out what it is you think you're doing. Why do you do, and they actually have a suggestion for you.
Right.
There's nothing worse than that probably. But it's also somewhat entertaining. I thought, and I used to get this for years. I thought it was funny.
I thought you were funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. I had someone once go, well, the most recent dumbass thing someone asked me was, did you really have cancer? Like, I would make it
That is
up
the worst bit. What you're not the guy from Barron's Foster or whatever? Or the guy who said he worked in the towers.
Oh,
you know
right. Oh, yeah, right. Yes.
See, now because I'm OCD, I always think, what if I was that guy? Like, I don't even think about why would I have said I was in the tower? But for some reason, I lost my mind. I went, yeah, were you in the towers? Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I can't take this back. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Because now I have a lot of buckings from it.
Right. Had a GoFundMe account. Who shot Liberty Valance? Asks Seth Dick the third. Or second. Third. He's the third.
Is that a John Wayne movie?
It was John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart.
How's it going, Jimmy? How's it going, you old? Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, you old
Liberty Valance.
How do you take that question?
Print the legend. That's what I say.
Print the legend?
Yeah.
Is that a thing like when you print out your receipt?
Just if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't,
I love your inside jibes, and jabs.
Seth Dick Seth Dick the third wrote a bunch of them. Let's pick out a couple. What do you order at McDonald's?
The only thing I like at McDonald's is the smaller hamburger.
Yeah.
Not the Big Mac.
No, just a little plain
hamburger and French fries.
And you say hamburger?
I say, can I have a hamburger? Are you kidding me? When I walk into McDonald's,
it's a Happy Meal is what you like.
I can't even know. It's like it's a magical place. I can't order. It's too hard.
I have a hamburger.
And
the French fry.
You know what I do?
I want a hamburger.
I go in and I say, supersize me. This man, what's his name?
Morgan Spurlock?
Yes. He ate 20 pounds of McDonald's a day for 14 days in a row. Guess what happened? He gained a little weight. I'm killing with this, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, sorry. Did you answer the question?
Can I have a hamburger, please? I just want a hamburger.
What is a Happy Meal, after all? Happy meal, happy life. Wow. Boy, when do you think I lost it? This episode or earlier?
It's been a multi-stager.
I think I've been charming. I think I've been mostly charming tonight. What would you say?
Yeah, probably mostly, but in the 50s percentile.
At best, right?
Exactly. Perush.
Perush said, how is he going to meet me at... You just walk... If you want to meet me at Moon Tower, you go to the place, that bar where everyone goes, and you buttonhole me. And you come up to me, and you go, I'm Push... You say you're Pushka Vashasha, and then all of a sudden I start darting my eyes side to side.
All right. And he can come to your show.
Come to my show. There's no way that when I'm in Austin, I'm like an open book.
So what's the bar that everyone goes to?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Stephen F. Austin Hotel. Has a nice bar where all the people in the festival go.
Gotcha.
Is that what his question was?
He was, how do I meet Andy Kindler at Moon Tower?
I'm so stupid. I hate to call myself stupid. I keep forgetting when I read this that these are questions that are going to be asked. I was responding to his email as if he had another question. Yeah, so that's the way. Go to the Stephen F. Austin. Every night I'll be there desperately asking people what they thought of my...
Have you heard the podcast?
Have you heard the podcast that's Sprial?
Starring me?
I give you credit, not by name.
Right.
I say, and another Jew.
Chris wants to know, do Andy and Josh do the podcast sitting across from each other at the Weinstein kitchen table? Curious without wanting to be intrusive. Actually, it's my dining room table. And yes, we're across from each other.
It is kind of perfect. I love this environment for it. It's not like I've been in places where, Esther Q, very funny comedian, Esther Q, she had me do her podcast.
Isn't that a diet supplement?
What's that?
Isn't that a diet supplement?
Esther Q?
Yeah.
Esther C, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she had me do her podcast sitting on the floor, like...
Wow, that's weird.
And all of a sudden, because our younger people can do that, Josh. I'm too old for that. In fact, I've decided the main purpose of any party or any outgoing thing or going thing is to find a way to sit.
Yeah.
Standing is a loser's game. What's the point of standing? You can't do it forever.
Right. But sitting is the new smoking.
It's true.
Derek Henkel wants to know, what was the first joke you wrote but didn't tell on stage because it didn't fit your voice?
Oh. By the way, Derek is a very funny comedian.
Excellent.
I never had that. I always did. Okay, well, you know what? I did. The only time I've even written a joke for somebody else, it was for Bill. I wrote a joke called a Chinese, a Jewish Chinese restaurant or accounting firm, one lump sum. That was the punchline. And I said, I can't do this joke. And then I said, Bill, do you want this joke? And then he liked it, but then he found out he found it in a joke book. One lump sum.
Yeah.
Jewish accounting firm.
Right.
Jewish accounting firm. A Chinese accounting restaurant? Did you answer the question?
No, I haven't. Okay. I was trying to think. The only thing that occurs to me is this joke I wrote, which I ultimately ended up doing, but I like pawned it off on a couple of other guys first.
I like the.
It was the
provenance.
I might have even told it before, but it was just I would go, the Last Temptation of Christ, and then I put my arms out and go, is that chocolate pudding?
You gotta do that now. Why would you lose that joke?
But I was.
Is that chocolate pudding?
Is that chocolate pudding? But and I put it out, put my arms out in the Ricky Gervais crucifixion pose, and but I couldn't. I was like, I guess I was 19 probably when I wrote it or something, and I did.
The Last Temptation.
And so I would tell other comics it backstage, sort of proudly, and they go, "You got to do it," and I go, "I don't want to do it," and they go, "I'll do it." I go, "Okay," and then they do it, and they would die with it, pretty much. And I think I got Frank Conniff to do it once.
So good. And where is it now?
It's in my
your
library.
Rolodex, right?
Yes.
That's good.
Terry Caulfield, which cover song do you both think is better than the original?
Oh my God, that's a tough question.
I'm gonna. The first ones that come to mind are "Hallelujah," Jeff Buckley's beats Leonard Cohen's. I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's see. Mama Told Me Not to Come.
That's true.
Three Dog Night, much better than the Randy Newman
Oh,
original.
well, I love the Randy Newman version because I'm a Randy Newman.
I'm a huge Randy Newman fan.
Right.
But Three Dog Night made more of the song.
Okay, so, and what else?
I'm trying to think. Sinead O'Connor is probably Nothing Compares to You is probably better than Prince's.
Well, this doesn't count. Manic Monday is not better than Prince's. But
I never heard Prince's.
He wrote it.
I don't know if he ever recorded it, though.
No.
He probably did a demo,
though. This is one of those questions where I can't even think of anything.
All right.
Who did a House of the Rising
Stevie Wonder's We Can Work It Out is a pretty cool cover.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I do like a couple of different versions of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
And one of them...
But those aren't covers. That's a standard.
I guess you're right. But sometimes they add a little zets to it.
Yeah. Do you like a lot of zets? Do you like Sam Harris zets, that singer?
Not that Sam Harris. I know what you're talking about, but he blocked me, right? Because I thought I sent something to him that was meant for the other Sam Harris, and he just blocked me. But to me, it's like, did he think
I'm not a bigot?
Yeah, I'm not an anti-Islamic bigot. It's so crazy. No, there's a particular version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow that was sung by something to do with that Loud family. Remember? Oh, forget it. American Family. Was that American Family? Was the thing about the actual Louds?
Yeah.
And at his funeral, a musician did a version of that song. I can't remember who it was.
Wow. Okay.
That's why don't I abandon stories? Why even go into them? Just to make you have to edit more?
That's apparently your game.
That's my MO.
That's your game. Randy Denton, a.k.a.
Hey, Randy.
A.k.a. David Dennison.
Love
the podcast, but feel that I am missing the gold that hits the cutting room floor during Josh's editing session.
Oh, of course. You don't think Josh is trying to extinguish my light?
As a preview, I am the bushel. As a preview to the nuggets we will receive.
You're hiding me under a bush. You're what hides my light.
Yes. As a preview to the nuggets we will receive through Patreon, can we hear some of the alternative show closing bits that were cut?
Oh, yeah. You know what we're going to do, Randy? We're going to, not this week, of course, but we're going to work on it.
That was sarcasm.
No, Randy, do you think that I agree with you.
I think, your initial premise is really what's flawed. If it was gold, it doesn't get cut.
Yeah, there's nothing cut. There's nothing cut. If we even think there's a chance that a guy in Connecticut will giggle.
Here's what I cut. Yes, if it runs into a wall.
Yes.
If we're both talking out of our ass completely about a topic.
Well, for example, the original Woody Allen argument was 17 hours long. You didn't include all that.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah, well, I know when I'm talking.
Like tonight, a good example, although I'll leave it in now.
What is it?
Is the Sound of Music conversation. Like neither of us really know Sound of Music.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's wasted space.
Right. Like it was going really long. That would be flagged.
If you need B-roll though, it's not bad.
And then I have to say this question section is modular. Let's just say.
Oh, do you feel it's too long?
No, I just mean
it's easily cuttable.
Some questions go nowhere, so they don't necessarily.
Remember when you asked me about how small my penis was, and I said it was embarrassingly small? You never.
No, that's it. Okay. Yeah, of course. Sarah York. Or Yorkie, I'm not sure. It's York with an E at the end.
York, but who knows?
Usually with the E there.
Yorkie?
I've heard Yorkie.
That's a Yorkie's a type of animal. Why'd you mess me up?
That's IE.
Now you have to cut this out.
No, I don't.
See if I can save it.
No, if I said it, then I cut it out.
You're not here to guard against my embarrassing moments.
Okay, did I miss some juicy stories about Fallon? Just getting a vibe. I know he is no Letterman. Don't get sued.
No, I don't have any juicy stories. Do you?
No.
We it's more like
I said that quickly, like I was defending it, but I don't.
I used to make fun of him.
He's just another. Yeah, I mean, I feel like his show is just. It's almost like Japanese television. His show. It's just got that frenetic energy,
Yes.
and there's weird fucking games going on, and it's not my cup of tea.
It doesn't incense me. I used to
But
be
it
incensed
doesn't.
by
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't incense me either. But it's a little too populist for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, he's always like, he does a lot of what I'm doing as a person, apologizing a lot for my past behavior. And he does the same thing, but so great, so great, so great, so great, so great,
Right.
so great. It's like a nervous habit.
It bugs me. His ego, in terms of like some stuff, bugs me. Like the singing thing.
Yeah, he's too much. It's like
that instinct that the audience will like it more if I sing with Bruce Springsteen
I know.
more than Bruce Springsteen singing. You know?
And sadly, some people do like it. I can't take
guess,
it.
but it's or like when he opened Saturday Night Live with him doing "Let's Dance" by Bowie. But there wasn't a joke. It was just
That's
a
not
giant
good.
musical number and him sort of doing his Bowie impression. Doing his Bowie impression, but it wasn't that.
Was this after
uncanny.
Bowie died?
I think so.
I hope not.
I think so.
I hope not, or I hope so, I guess.
I don't know. Or it may have been the cause of death. I'm just saying.
I have never liked his musical thing because it's never been that funny to me, and I don't think it's legitimate just to be
No,
carpool
as
karaoke.
As someone who does singing impressions in my life,
Yes.
I know the limited value of them.
Well, you can do, and also if you had impression, you're just doing impressions, but it's like, is part of his persona is the instrument
It's just
player.
karaoke. Yeah, it's like it's a fun guy at karaoke.
But he does think he's an amazing musician, I believe.
I don't know what he thinks. I don't know exactly but it's a weird place in his ego spectrum
Yeah.
that he really needs to keep expressing that.
Yeah, he does. He's trying to prove something. I think he's one of these guys who is like a guy who would entertain at parties because he is delightful, maybe, or he's over the top. Why am I trying to figure out what the
It's hard to separate the percentage of neediness versus generosity.
That's true.
you
That's
know?
true.
Because there's a lot of neediness in the equation. But he is generous.
I
as
saw
a
him on Saturday Night
performer.
Live do a funny character. I don't remember what it was, but it was, recently.
Yeah, I remember you liked it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that made
it
me
involved
laugh.
George Washington.
Yes, it was that, yeah. So, he still got it.
But yeah, no, we have no actual beef.
No.
And he tried. He tried to carry over his Leno beef into Fallon,
Yeah.
but it didn't. It
didn't
really
work.
ran out
it's
of
like,
steam. Yeah.
the walls are broken down now. I can't still be upset about Leno and Letterman. I love Letterman, but it's a different world now, and I'm like the Colbert is doing, but I don't watch anybody that much anymore.
I don't really watch
I like
either.
Seth Meyers. I like Seth Meyers, and I like, but I don't watch anything really.
My
really-
theory now with talk shows, unfortunately, is if something really funny happened,
You'll see it.
The clip will be there the next
Yeah.
day. You know?
It's not like I do long for the things that when you watch the Johnny Carson things, I kind of have a longing for a time period when the zeitgeist was something everybody was thinking about. You know what I
Right.
mean? I kind of like that feeling, but it's almost like how could you continue something like that? It's just not possible.
Yeah, but it is. Watching the old Carsons, it evokes a feeling that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. And, but when I was watching it though, I could get myself back. And it's really fun the relaxed 1.5 hour shows is a really good thing to watch sometimes to slow yourself down. Like I tend to be with the remote control watching them. Huh? Josh, am I want my CPAP machine, Mommy. Now, Josh, if they want to write to us, what do they do?
They should, they could email us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com.
You could write to snail mail.
You could write us on Twitter at thought_spiral at Twitter.
And ask
Hey,
for
maybe you want a Thought Spiral mug or a Thought Spiral
Oh,
shirt.
God.
Go to Zazzle.com
Can't we get
/
some more-
thought_spiral. Will you shut the fuck up while I'm trying to make us money?
There's nothing worse than a Jew who's upset by another Jew derailing his sales pitch.
Zazzle.com.
Forward backspace and enter what the.
Why are you such a dick?
Why should you enter at the checkout code? I am such a dick. But luckily this didn't happen the whole show.
No, it didn't.
I'm so worried that I'm so worried that I allow you to promoted enough. That's where we go, Zazzle. And what are our items that we have?
We got a big mug. We got a shirt of varying sizes. Life is good if you go to Zazzle.
See, before I sold merch, I didn't know what the feeling of selling merch would be like.
Yeah.
Now I'm
How's
tired
it
of
feeling?
it. I'm tired of it.
All right. We can take it down.
No. We're going to come up with better products.
Okay.
I'm such an idiot. Like, oh yeah, when I told Josh, I cleaned up the website for him, Zazzle. I gave him some ideas. Who needs a mug? I told him. So he's got he's got a cocktail shaker. A particular
the cocktail shaker and a nightcap.
Oh, that was enjoyable. I enjoyed myself more at the end there than earlier in the show.
I used to remember on the old Letterman show there would be the collapsible drinking cup they'd give away, or the late night sponge they'd give away to viewers.
I miss those days.
Me too.
Well, I love you very much, Josh. I just want to say
I love you too, Andy.
So stupid. Everything is stupid. Everything is stupid when you try to close a show. Everything is bad. Go out on a funny joke.
Should we go on a joke?
Yeah.
One of your joke book jokes?
Yeah, I have a joke book joke. You ready?
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so it's the Last Supper, and after the Last Supper, Jesus says, one of my 12 children, what are they, disciples?
Disciples.
One of my 12 disciples will betray me. And so Peter comes up to Jesus and goes, "Is it I, Lord?" And Jesus says, "No, Peter, it is not you." The third one's the kicker.
No, I know the joke.
I know you do. Then Andrew came up and said, "Is it I, Lord?" And Jesus said, "No, Andrew, it is not you." And then Judas came up and he said, "Is it I, Lord?" And Jesus said, "Is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord?" Now, am I getting it wrong?
Yeah, the double punchline. What's wrong?
It's just, "Is it I, Lord?"
Yeah. Is it me, Jesus?
Oh, that's better. That's better. Is it me, Jesus? I love that. See, you tell a good joke.